afternoon, this is Dr. Mike Talbot, ready for our webinar this afternoon on mediating customer complaints. It's about 9 minutes to 12 on a chilly day in Derbyshire, and we're ready to start our webinar in about 8 or 9 minutes. This is your chance to get comfortable, set your volume levels, and get ready for our webinar on mediating customer complaints. Well, good afternoon. If you're waiting to join our webinar this afternoon, it's 2 minutes to 12. We'll be starting our webinar in a couple of minutes on mediating customer complaints. I'm Dr. Mike Talbot. It's a chilly afternoon in Derbyshire, and we'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Time to get comfortable, set your volume levels, and we'll see you soon. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Mike Talbot. I'm the CEO of UK Mediation, and I'm here this afternoon to present our latest webinar on mediating customer complaints. You're very welcome to join us. We have people from all around the world with us this afternoon. I'm delighted to have you join us. In this, the start of our 20th year. UK Mediation's been running for that length of time. We've been doing webinars for all that time. And we're very pleased to have you join us for this one. And just to say, as we begin 2019, the first of our webinars of this year, thank you very much for all the warm comments, appreciative comments about the webinars that we've received, especially since the end of last year. We're very pleased to present these free webinars for you, all aspects of mediation, all aspects of using mediation in a wide range of settings to resolve a wide range of disputes. And today we're talking about customer complaints. And here's what I'd like to do for you today. So we're going to begin with talking about what is a complaint. What do we mean by complaint? What is it that we're trying to tackle by using the skills and techniques of mediation? And then how we can use mediation to resolve complaints. So I've got an animation and a couple of video clips to show you with regards to how we can apply the process of mediation to the resolution of complaints, and to talk about why it's so effective. So part of our remit is to provide mediation for the resolution of complaints, and we've been very busy with this over the last 20 years. Very effective process. I'll talk a little bit more later on about why it's so effective, and provide some case examples so we can illustrate some areas that we've used mediation in. There is a chance at the end for Q&A, and if during the course of the webinar you'd like to ask us any questions as we go along, you're very welcome. You don't have to wait to the end, but there will be a slot at the end so that you can ask questions as well. So, in time-honoured tradition, let's have a think about some statistics to do with complaints. And the first one I'd like to tell you about is around people abandoning a business after they've had a poor experience. Some statistics from New Voice Media, quite recent statistics, say that more than half of customers would never use a business again after they've had a poor experience. Now, that's quite indicative of the importance of dealing with complaints correctly. So if somebody has a poor experience of you, the chances are they're not going to come back. And not only do people not come back, but they're going to tell everybody else about their experience. People will tell, on average, 16 other people about a bad experience. A good experience we don't tend to tell people about quite so much. So if things go as planned and the goods or services that we thought we were going to get, we do actually get on time and to price, then we generally keep that to ourselves. But on average, if we're unhappy about what we've had, we tend to tell a lot of people about it, and according to Lee Resources International, some very up-to-date statistics, we're likely to tell 16 other people. It's far more expensive to attract new customers than it is to keep an existing one. So we know when we've done all the groundwork to attract a customer to buying our goods or services, trying to keep them is relatively inexpensive, but it's 6 times more expensive to get new customers than it is to keep existing ones. So you've got to retain your customers, keep them happy. And if we're dealing with complaints well, then we're going to be keeping customers happy, we're going to be retaining them, we're saving time and money, especially with our sales and marketing functions. And how we deal with complaints is really important as well. So if a complaint's handled badly, people are going to tell each other. Around about 4 out of 5 people on the statistics from the Institute for Customer Service, they found that about 4 out of 5 people will tell others if a complaint has been handled badly. So in short, if we don't deal with complaints well, it's going to get broadcast. People are going to hear about it. They're going to tell a lot of others about it, far more than if things go well. They're not going to tell many people about that at all. You're liable to lose your customer, and it's going to cost a lot of money to replace that customer rather than retain your existing customers. And on a slightly positive note, to end the statistics part, if we can manage to deal with complaints effectively, then the complainant is far more 95% likely to give us a second chance. So if we deal with complaints well, people will give us a second chance. So there's some of the statistics about dealing with complaints. Let's have a think about what we mean by complaint before we go on to talk about how we can better resolve them and make sure that we don't lose customers, don't lose reputation, and ultimately don't lose business. So let's have a think what this thing is, a complaint. And we have a nice illustration, a graphic illustration from Faulty Towers. Those of you who are viewing from overseas, I'm sure you've come across Faulty Towers. People in the UK, if you're old enough like me, you'll have seen this the first time round. So probably from about the mid-70s, this clip. Let's have a look at a nice illustration of a complaint.
Now listen to me. I booked a room with a bath. When I book a room with a bath, I expect to get a bath.
You've got a bath?
I'm not paying £7.20 per night plus VAT for a room without a bath.
There is your bath.
You call that a bath? It's not big enough to drown a mouse. It's disgraceful.
I wish you were a mouse on a tree.
And another thing. I asked for a room with a view.
This is the view as far as I can remember, madam. Yes, this is it.
When I pay for a view, I expect something more interesting than that.
That is Torquay, madam.
But it's not good enough.
Well, may I ask what you were expecting to see out of a Torquay hotel bedroom window? Sydney Opera House, perhaps? The hanging gardens of Babylon? Herds of wildebeest sweeping majestically?
I expect to be able to see the sea.
You can see the sea. It's over there between the land and the sky.
I need a telescope to see that.
Well, may I suggest that you consider moving to a hotel closer to the sea? Or preferably in it.
Right. Now, listen to me. I'm not satisfied, but I've decided to stay here. However, I shall expect a reduction.
Why? Because Krakatoa's not erupting at the moment, or...?
Because the room is cold. The bath is too small. The view is invisible and the radio doesn't work.
So there's a nice example of a complaint that's maybe not entirely reasonable, but been dealt with in not a particularly effective way by the hotelier. So what is a complaint? Well, as we can see in that clip, it's some kind of an expression of dissatisfaction. In the case of that complainant, it's about the quality of her hotel room and the view and the bath, etc. So it's something to do with the provision of goods or services. It often involves how somebody feels that they were treated, and in this case you might expect that that complainant wouldn't appreciate the way that she's been treated there by the hotelier. And really, I think just to dwell on that for a second, I think even some minor complaints that we've come across that we've helped to resolve for people, or that we've trained people to resolve for themselves, it's often down to how the individual who hears the complaint, how they address it, how they respond to the complainant in the first instance. And we can often nip things in the bud and deal with them quite quickly, but it requires a certain approach, a certain way of dealing with the initial complaint when it's at that high temperature point and somebody is really fired up and really wants somebody to yell at on some occasions. It very much depends on how they feel they were treated in that first instance as to whether the complaint progresses into something else. And we see it there in the hotel sector, but complaints can occur in almost any sector. So again, in 20 years of experience of dealing with these kind of things, we've come across complaints in many, many different sectors. Just a few examples that we'll put up here. With private companies, so the provision of goods or services from private companies. Again, in our experience, we've dealt with a lot with local authorities, so council